What's going on, everybody? Stock Jock here, up $1,084 in the first hour trading. Finished the day up $21,985. All of that, well, half of that is due to a news play on Kodak that came out midday about. It was a pretty insane move. So, excellent day, excellent day. Puts me up over 200,000 on the year already, which is a phenomenal start to the year. Really happy about that. If you're not aware, we have a free chat room where I trade all day long for free from 9:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I answer all sorts of questions. We're just trying to build a community of traders. There's about 1,000 people in stream today, another 3,000 in our Discord. So it's growing pretty quickly. And I think it's all because of the community that we're building. And the community is just phenomenal. It's a great group of people that want to either learn or they know what they're doing already and they want to contribute. And we invite everybody that wants to be part of our community. So the link for the description to the Twitch stream is down below, as well as the Discord channel. And if you could, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps with all the algorithms and all that blah, 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 blah. Anyway, let's get into the trades. So this first trade was on GLBS. This one, it was on watch for me. And I was looking at it a couple times this morning because SINO was gapping up. SINO, for as long as I remember it, has been a shipping company. They had news out that they were going to add a Bitcoin mining part to their company. I don't know. It made zero sense to me. Doesn't matter. The stock gapped up over 100% today. And I was constantly wondering if other shippers, other shipping companies would start moving as well, because they tend to move in sympathy of each other. If one starts to run and become the leader of the pack, all the other ones tend to move. Sino, GLBS, Top Shipping, PSX, there's a ton of them. They all tend to move together. And GLBS is one of my favorites because it's such a low float shipper. So I was looking at it, and a couple of the chat rooms that I subscribe to, they also started mentioning it. I was like, all right, well, if people are going to play these because Sino's ripping, I'm gonna go ahead and get in to GLBS and see if it's going to take off. So I get in through here. It really doesn't do anything. I filled like close to the top of this candlestick. It just didn't do anything. I held for a few minutes, and as it's coming back down, I just got out. What I really should have done is wait for the pop to be over, pull back, pull back, pull back, and then candle over candle entry right here, and then it would have gotten me a nice move to make profit on. But I thought that this was going to go red to green and then kind of just rip. That's what I thought it was going to do. It didn't. Cut it loose, moved on. Chat room mentioned GLBS, and it is a sympathy to Sino, but it's actual shipper, unlike freaking Sino is a shipper, but it's moving up because of Bitcoin. I liked it on the red or green, that's why I took it, but it's kind of just immediately stopped that move. All my pot plays are on fire today. $74 would be the 1 minute. Yeah. This thing's all over the place. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of that. I missed SAVA. There was the 1 minute on SAVA. I just missed it right here. So the next play is on CGC. CGC and all these pot stocks have been just on fire as of late. And this one just kind of ripped out of the gates. Pop, 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 pop. Pull back candle, pull back candle, pull back candle. And I got candle over candle right here. This is my pop, pullback, candle over candle method. One of the rules to my pop, pullback, candle over candle method is when it goes candle over candle, it needs to immediately get to the high of the run. If it doesn't, I need to let it go, move on. When you watch the clip, and this would have been a really good one, it goes candle over candle, I get in, and it kind of slowly gets up here. It doesn't immediate, and I'm talking immediate, like 1 or 2 seconds with volume. In this case, none of that happened. Gets up here and then immediately sells off. When I see that, I sell and I exit. I got in at 43.90 and I exited at 43.73 and 43.74. So it was like a 16-cent loser on 4,000 shares. Not a pretty trade. And it's important that I cut my losses, because a lot of times the opposite will happen, and this did pull back, all the way down to 43.20 before it got going again. But a lot of times when I have my bigger losers is because I violate my own rules. I really should have cut this off sooner. When you watch the clip, it doesn't immediately get up to this level. Kind of just like trickles in. That's not what my strategy is looking for. A lot of times, if it just trickles in like this, it's going to reject that level. And I just held it and kind of watched it get up here. Thought it was going to go. Didn't. Kind of violated my rules. I did sell as soon as I saw it get rejected. But, I was green on the trade and I ended up going red. We're trying to get a 1 minute pullback on some of these pot plays. $98. Oh. Not a fail. The one minute play I take, complete fail move. The next trade was on Chronos here, and this one was a 5 minute play. So I typically do the pop, pullback, candle over candle method on the 1 minute chart, but you certainly can do it on the 5 minute, and I do it on the 5 minute when it looks good. And in this case, it looked really good. Nice pop, pullback with a huge wick down here. A lot of buyers buying that back up. Got the candle over candle. When it went candle over candle, I went long. I took 6,000 shares here at 12.25 average. And same thing as is the 1 minute play I just did on CGC. This one kind of popped up and didn't. I mean, it should have, in this situation, even though it's a 5 minute chart, it should have absolutely gone up here, especially with all this volume in the morning. It should have gone high of the run immediately, and it didn't. And I just got done with CGC doing a false break. I'm like, not going to happen again. So I start exiting almost immediately. When I see that, small profit on this, about 2.5 cents on 6,000 shares. And another thing is little pop quiz time. Goodness gracious. How about that for a wedge break? Boom, 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 boom. Consolidate, explosion. That is real pretty. Wish I would have seen that during market hours. Now CGC goes. Chronos, same thing, 5 minute play on Chronos. Five minute. All out. And all over the place there. So the next trade is on SAVA. SAVA was a stock that ran nutty yesterday, and I was really looking forward to pick up steam today and continue on. It did end up doing that, and then even so after hours. But earlier on in the day, it was starting to make kind of this descending resistance line through here, a little bit of a support through here. So it was creating a wedge. And I really thought we were going to break this level and then start breaking some horizontals and then go high day and go nutty. And it just couldn't do it. I went long at 67.55 coming up through here. Thought I was going to break the diagonal. It cracked it, but could not get any momentum. And, you know, I stuck to my rules here. It didn't do what I thought it was going to do. I sold it plus 11 on the trade, $220, got out, and it did end up collapsing for a short time before reversing much later. But yeah, I'll just kind of go over all these trades real quick. So as we were coming down, since it did a false break here, that usually means that it's going to reverse and then break support. And I did short this a few times successfully and a few times not successfully. You know, understanding that this stock just basically double or did a 200% move plus yesterday, has the potential to do insane moves today. You know, on the downside, I was keeping it very, very, very tight, even though I was trying to short it. If it didn't do what I thought it was going to, I got to cut it loose. So we'll go over the shorts real quick. At 10 o'clock here, it broke the diagonal, and kind of confirmation for me is when you start breaking these previous support areas. And I shorted through the support area. I shorted 1,000 shares at 64.56. Got a really nice drop on it. Covered half at 61.84, so nice win there. And then it started to bounce, and I was like, oh gosh, are you really going to bounce this much? And it did. Bounced all the way back to that level. So before I were to go red on the trade, I covered, or red on the second half, I covered the second half at 63.93. You know, about a 60-cent win on the second half. You know, almost $3 on the first half. So a really nice trade overall there. That was that trade. And again, I'll roll all these together, but I'm kind of going through it because I did play this one quite a bit, back to back to back to back to back. So anyway, the next short was at 10:04. So a lot of times when you get a breakout to the downside, you have a, let's just call it a breakdown, you have a bounce, and then I was looking for the candle under candle right here on this candlestick. I was looking for the drop, the bounce, and then the candle under candle to continue the move down. I did not get the candle under candle. I went short at 62.41, and as soon as I went short, it just bounced on me, and it bounced $1. So I covered minus $1,000. I think I shorted again. Yep, sure did. 10:07. What did I see here? All right, so I was finally. I honestly don't know. Maybe I switched tickers. I think that's probably what happened here. I used this area as a breakdown spot that it couldn't do it before, and now that I'm looking at it, it's incorrect. It's not a breakdown spot. I should have shorted right here for the candle under candle, the drop, the bounce, the candle under candle, and look for continuation. I didn't do that. I, for some reason, thought this was an area of support that if broke, we would maybe move low a day. I shorted this area. Just a quick scalp through 62, now that I remember correctly. I got that, and I covered for 4 cents, $40. And that was those trades. And then it didn't go low a day, and it got a bounce. Then went low a day, and then just went nutty. It's an insane mover today. So close to breaking out. Watch SAVA if it can get over 68. 1 minute oscillators looks very nice, but that doesn't mean it's going to go. Could go. That's getting a little weaker. Watch this 6790. 80, 90, 68 break. Come on. $68, you gonna go? It's trying. This is the big level, 69.15. Watching SAVA to the downside now. Wow, I didn't realize how bad the spreads were. It's a big level. Soaking it up here. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There she goes. Cover in half. KOLA, nice move. So what are the odds we get low a day on this? I don't know. So here's our breakdown, like we talked about the breakout, and this is a breakdown, same thing, right? To the downside. Here's our bounce, and then if you didn't hit this one, this is where I would normally take my trade is breakdown, bounce, and then candle under candle. Got about 5 seconds left on this candlestick. Break of 62 looks like would be the continuation to the downside. And I am, profit stop on the rest, break even. I don't need to go red on it. If it wants to bounce, and I've got to cover it. It's about to go red on the rest, so small win on the rest of it. I can still take this to the downside. It's 22. So that it needs to go now. This is the 1 minute candle under candle. If it doesn't, I'm out. ZKIN, getting a Seeking Alpha pump. Back to this level, this needs to go. So I'm out. That's a failed 1 minute there. So it should have gone. That was actually, I mean, perfect. 1 minute candle under candle, and it just didn't go. All right, got the fill this time. There's your break. Come on, keep going. 61.20. No? All right, I'm out. So this next trade I completely screwed up. So we have this big pop on CPSH, broke high a day, right? Let's call it the breakout. We have a breakout. So pop, 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 pull back. Oops. Pull back, and then my strategy is, pop, 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 pull back, and then candle over candle, right? I nailed the entry. My target is high of the run. I got all that, right? And I'm supposed to take profit anywhere above that peak. What do? I sit and I hold looking for something bigger. I knew the news on this one was pretty big, and I really thought this had huge run potential today, which it ended up doing much later on for some reason. But I thought for some reason this was going to be the one. This is where it's going to go into orbit. And it didn't. And this is, again, I violated my rules. Usually, if I feel like a stock could be a runner, I will still sell half where I normally would, which would be right here. I took 4,000 shares, 11.13, 11.14 average, right? I got a really good fill. I got everything I wanted. I was green on the trade. I held all 4,000 shares. I usually sell half. And then if I want to play around with 2,000 shares, I'll play around with 2,000 shares, stop loss, break even. But what do? I hold, looking for a bigger move, and then this happens. And it just, as soon as I sell, I thought I was about to sell for profit. As soon as I hit that sell button, the bid just drops 30 cents on me. And I did exit for a small win on the first half, about 13 cents. But the second half, I sold for a much bigger loss than the win was. So it was like a 30-cent loss on the second half. So I'm pretty pissed about myself on this one. I could have had a nice winner, and I let the whole trade go red on me. There she is. CPSH. That fill. That's a joke of a fill right there. Well, calm the heck down there, CPSH. Oh, the second half ain't working out so hot. So it's not the prettiest candle there. Yeah, there you go. Dang it. So this next trade is a news play, and you won't be able to hear the news because I can't stream it live during the day when I'm trading. But in essence, to kind of give it some background of what's going on here, GWPH today is getting bought out. It's a medicinal marijuana company. So a lot of times when you have these huge buyouts of some kind of company, you'll get other companies in that field get sympathy news, and it'll tend to do a pop. And that's exactly what happened here with INM. They had some news out. I think they're in the CBD topical ointment, whatever. Regardless, whatever it is, it's a low flow company. 7 million shares outstanding. News hits here. I get in 6,000 shares. I got 2,000 at 537, and then 4,000 around 542. Right when I heard the news, right? Knowing that GW Pharma is getting bought out today, probably anything pot-related things have been rock and rolling today. Just overall goodness, right? So I see this, I get in, I hear the news, I get in, nice entry, goes straight up here, right? I exit half at 576 on the way up in this pop. Again, to make sure I'm profitable in this trade, because I don't know it looks like it's going into a halt. I don't know what it's going to do after the halt. And I got real disappointed here out of the halt. So I took profits of 3,000 shares. I made about 40 cents on it. It's like 1,200 bucks. Nice trade, right? So it goes into a halt. When it opens up, it was a strong mover. I'm really expecting opening at least 50 cents to $1 higher. What does it do? Gaps down quite a bit. It was pretty ugly, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So when I see that, I just start exiting. Exited at 554, so profit still in 562. So overall, green. It did end up making one last push here before coming all the way back down. But when you get halted going up and it gaps down on you, it's never a good feeling and doesn't sit well for me. I'm not going to stay in it and try to find out if it's going to do this or not. Rather just cut it loose, move on. INM. Some sort of news circulating on it. Chronos topical cream. It's like a GWPH sympathy, it sounds like. It's a low float. I think I'm going to hold the rest into the halt. I think I'm going to take it in the halt. I'm taking it in the halt. So 5 seconds. Oh, gosh. I'm out. Freaking 50-cent drop. Knew that was going to happen. This next trade is simply just a pop, pullback, candle over candle. We had a nice pop going high a day, getting that break. Right, pullback candle, pullback candle, pullback candle, candle over candle entry right there. Looking for high of the run. I got that. I sold half, I believe, right away. So I got in at 865, 4,000 shares right there. So nice entry. I exited half at 880 as we broke this area. So 15-cent winner there. And then it immediately just kind of dropped down on me, and I exited the other half for about a 3-cent loss. So overall, about a 12-cent winner on yeah, I made money, whatever. I made 15 cents on the first half, lost 3 cents on the second half. That's what I'm trying to say. Keep an eye on SLS as well. Lizzie over 63. So those are 1 minute on Lizzie. Needs to go. There's a break. Out some. 66. Oof. Small loss in the second half. Still a winner overall. This next trade was an SLS morning gapper. I don't even remember why, to be honest, but it did, and it was making these kind of peaks as it was moving down here. And the thought process is if it could break some of these little peaks here as it was coming down, it would reverse and go back towards high day. This is a low float stock. It could have gotten, you know, really fun. So as it was coming up to these levels, I thought I was going to break this peak right here, and I went long for it. It kind of slowed down, and I exited half when I saw that it wasn't really taking off to break these levels. I sold half. I got in at 12.14, 12.15, 4,000 shares. And as it gets up to these levels, it just kind of stops. And I exit half to be like, okay, it's not really taking off. I'm going to limit my exposure, cutting half loose right here for break even. Actually, +1 or plus half a penny, $10. The second half, I let it sit here, percolate a little bit. Just didn't go anywhere. And as it looked like it was just kind of running out of steam, I exit the second half, break even. Come on, hidden seller. No, I don't like that. Taking half off, I took double size. If 1220 breaks, I'm okay with it, but all right, I'll out the rest. I'll get back in if that 1225 looks like it's gonna go. So a bit all over the place this morning. First hour's in the bag up $1,000, 1,084.